What is up, YouTube? This is Ryan with sportscardrush, and I am back with another video. Today I have a reveal of a new grading card company, and I have not looked at the cards yet, and I want to talk about them a little bit and then do a blind reveal of what those cards got for grades and talk about them and grading in general. But before I do that, I do want to give an update on a card I got graded here. Just recently got this back. I talked about it in the video when I opened the 1987 Topps WWF box, and I picked this up from a local card shop, and in hindsight paid too much for it, but I really liked it, liked the way it looked, and can't go wrong with iconic cards. But it's the 1985 Topps WWF Hulk Hogan pseudo rookie card, or first Topps card. Pretty much is the main rookie card. There's some older cards and more rare cards too, but this is the big one, and I thought this card looked great other than one big thing. If you look at it, centering looks really good, edges and corners are all really nice, but on the back there is, I believe, a gum stain or a wax stain on there. And I was hoping that I could maybe get a qualifier for it, maybe like an 8 or a 9 with a qualifier of stain, ST. But I actually just read that they're kind of going away from doing qualifiers, or at least going away from doing qualifiers with a higher grade on it at PSA. So did not get that, ended up getting a 7. Disappointing with that. Just because I've seen a lot, I've been looking at a lot of these listings, and there are a lot of them with this kind of stain or just darkening or just all kinds of weird stuff going on in the back that have gotten better grades than this, and I felt like the corners and edges and the centering wasn't as good on some of those cards. But what are you going to do? PSA, people have been saying this for a long time, and I've kind of scoffed at it and not really thought about it, but I've gotten 2 other PSA orders back recently, and there's no doubt in my mind that they've gotten tougher on grading, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, but it is what it is. I got back my order, and I mentioned this in another video, of a bunch of cards from the 90s. I got an order of 102 cards, and didn't get many 10s, which I wasn't really expecting a lot of 10s, but the weird thing was I got 24 8.5s on there, and I went back and looked at the pop reports on a lot of those cards, and it's like way less than 1% of all cards get 8.5s, and so they're clearly using that 8.5 now. I don't know if it's necessarily like a pop control thing, or just maybe with the new management or new leadership team in place at PSA, maybe they're like, well, why aren't you using the middle numbers more? And maybe they're just changing their mindset on those. But I just feel like a lot of those that I got 8.5s on could have been 9s. Maybe some of them would be 8s, who knows? But just a little weird or curious on that front. And so back to the PSA being kind of tougher on grades now. I don't know. It's hard because either the cards that have already been graded in the past that maybe they were a little bit more lenient on are overvalued, or they're extremely undervalued because now it's a lot harder to get a 9 or a 10 on older cards than they used to be. So does that mean they should be worth more now, or they should be worth less because it was pre them getting tougher on grades and they're really overgraded? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it's interesting. The other element of it too is, if you've been following the card markets lately, things have been down, which is, tough when you're trying to sell cards, especially slab cards, and everyone kind of knew it was coming with the influx of everyone getting their grading cards back here from PSA, with them getting somewhat caught up or closer to being caught up. And so you're getting the market flooded with cards, and somebody's got to buy those cards, and there's just not enough people, especially with a lot of people exiting. And there's a whole bunch of factors with that, with COVID and going back to work or being out of work, and then also with Target stopping selling retail cards for the time being. I think that's turned a lot of people off of the hobby as well, and just all the madness with that kind of stuff. But For this, we're talking about a new grading company called Revolution Grading. Revolution Card Grading is their Instagram account. I'd recommend checking them out. And I just wanted to talk about like what they are. I know there's like a ton of different new grading companies right now, and there's no way all of them are going to last and stick around here. But there's something that kind of caught my eye with Revolution, and that is something you'll see here soon. But they do something different with their slabs than other companies do. And so I submitted an order during their soft launch, which was before they even had a website up and running. They did a soft launch through just email, and I submitted 9 cards through them. And one of the negatives I think for them is the cost. The lowest tier for this, the cheapest tier, which is a 30-day turn time, is $35 per card. So it's kind of pricey for what you're getting from a new company where you have no idea how well these will sell and no idea how much exposure the cards would really have. But I went with that tier and thought, if it's during the soft launch, they would get back to me sooner. But they ended up taking a little bit over 30 days, and I actually had to reach out to them at the 30-day mark and ask them where the cards were. And then they've been really good with communication, but it did take a little longer than 30 days, and that's a little disappointing with a new company. But it is what it is, and I'm sure they're growing and learning and adjusting things as they go. So let's just see what we get here. And I did do kind of a weird, eclectic collection of cards to them, and I don't think I have any like crazy, super valuable cards in here. Which again, $35 per card. You think you should probably stick to higher end cards, but then you want to maximize value, so then it's a tricky line there. So I am opening the paper, which appears to be saran wrap, which is interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to review them one at a time, I think, and talk about their slab and some of the stuff with them. And this is taking a little longer than I thought. But, alright, so speaking of Hulk Hogan, we're going to start off with that card first. And they are in a wrapper, which I do like that. PSA does not do that. But here's the first card. That's pretty cool. So, like I said, the big thing with them is they do full color slabs, which is technology that I don't believe any other grading company is doing right now. And so this card got an 8.5, which is a pretty good grade for, these cards were kind of rough with the edges and the corners and stuff like that. So I don't have a problem with getting an 8.5 on this. You can see corners got a 9, surface got an 8, edges got an 8, and centering got a 9.5, which is pretty good. Which I did think this one was pretty centered. And this one I did open on the channel, if you go back and watch that video. So as you can see, there's the slab is colored, and this one they went with kind of, I don't know, it's red, yellow, and blue on there. I guess matches the color on here, which I think looks pretty good. Then on the back, you can see the kind of the info on there as well. So I do like that. I think that looks pretty slick. I think it'll pop too, especially if you get good lighting on there. So that's the first card. Next card is an old school card. This is a Ken Griffey Jr. Bleacher Reachers, but I think that's part of the season's best set of inserts. I really love these cards back in the day. This one got 9 5s all around. Pretty cool. And you can see the slab there. Let me open this up. Is Mariners colors, which I like. So that's a pretty slick looking card there. Cool. Next one is one of the bigger-ish cards, just because it's a numbered card, but it is a, oh nice, a 10. Darius Slayton Select White Prism rookie card. I actually bought this off eBay in a lot with this and another Slayton card. It's numbered 2 out of 35. And you can see there we kind of have a team match colors with the white, red, and blue too. So that looks pretty good. And I knew this was a good looking card too. Bang, dang, 1.5 point off of a 10 here. I think I will say RCG is a little more lenient than like Hybrid is, and probably even SGC. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of these companies are trying to be tough just to be tough, and you know, if visually, if you can't see an issue with it, like what's the point? Like if you're going to rely on technology to look at every little tiny defect and determine that it's got flaws, like I know it's like the old saying of if a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, does it really happen? Like if there's a defect on a card that you can't see, is it really a defect? You know? But I'll take that. That's a great looking card. And I think he's due for a breakout year. I know they kind of struggled last year with Barkley going down with the injury. All right, next one's a big one too, I think, here. So this is just, I really like these old cards. And I thought, you know, you can't go wrong with it, Derek Jeter. And so this is, wow, another 10, Derek Jeter. This is just the base EX card from 2001. Just a nice clean card with a nice sparkle here, and I thought this would look good with the kind of the slab here, and I think it does look really good. And this too, so I'm gonna talk a bit about this. I don't really understand it, but they do these, what they're calling like prism labels. I'm not a huge fan of this idea, but basically there's like one out of a certain amount will have this kind of shiny top. I think it's a little gimmicky. It's not for me personally. Maybe some people will be into it, but supposedly that's like a rare slab version. But I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't want it to be a gimmick. I want it to be, you know, an established card company that grades cards and like looks good in a nice slab and is consistent with the slab. But maybe some people will be cool for them. But really like that too. Another 0.5 away from perfect here. I'm not sure about the centering. This was a tough one to ever see centering on, but nice clean card. I knew that one was going to be clean. So those are our first 4. Got 5 more left here. I'll try to go fast because I know I've been talking quite a bit. All right. So again, did some kind of middle tier or lower tier stuff here. Just wanted to try it. And the saran wrap is pretty thick. All right. So next card is just a Bo Bichette paper card, and I submitted these kind of towards the beginning of the year, and he's done okay this year. Nothing crazy though, so he hasn't quite taken that next step, but again, nice clean card with nice matching colors, Blue Jay colors. Kind of see the slab colors there. Looks pretty good. And then next I have a Zach Levine Net Marvels, one of the coolest sets that it's been around for just the last 2 years, but I think it's awesome. This year, not quite as big as it was last year, but this got a 9.5 as well, with 9.5s all around. These do have a little bit of trouble with the corners, I know, with whitening. I just opened a box of this, and most of them did have a little bit of whitening, but pretty happy with that. Cool. Alright, next one. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander rookie card from Chronicles here. This is Marquee. This is the pink version. And it is kind of a bummer. I noticed this on some of the listings that I saw on eBay too, is I would have preferred it to match the pink here versus the team colors, especially for him since he doesn't even play on the Clippers anymore. But you know, but still, it's pretty cool. So that one, the edges got a 9 here. Yeah, I mean the foil on these is kind of tough because it's, you know, just a little inconsistent on there, and I think the whitening on the back too. Yeah, these all have a little bit of white on the back, so that makes sense. But still a cool card. Okay, this is the next kind of other one that was on my list that I thought would look good in a slab like this. So this is oh, so they got his name wrong here. It says KJ Hunter. That's not his name. It's KJ Hamler. I'm not sure what the issue is there, but this came back in 9.5. I'll have to reach out to them on this. That's a bummer. But again, you kind of have the Broncos colors with that, and looks good I think with the blue. This is the optic preview card from Donruss, and this is numbered to 125. But it is a bummer that they spelled that wrong, but I'll have to reach out. And then the last card, just a base card, but I thought it would look good too. De'Aaron Fox, and this is a rookie card from Status, and it's got a 9.5 as well. 9.5s all around. It's a nice clean card with the purple. Looks pretty good. Again, though, I don't know if there's a ton of value here. We'll see here. I've been checking eBay. So one of the big negatives here, and I have a list of positives and negatives for them. One of the big negatives that you wouldn't think of is it's actually kind of hard to search eBay for these cards right now, because if you type in Revolution or Revolution grade or card or anything like that, you're going to get like Panini Revolution basketball cards. So to find them, you have to kind of search RCG, and if you're listing these on eBay, definitely kind of have RCG, and then even then, there's all kinds of weird miscellaneous things that will pop up when you search for these. So I don't know, it's just a little thing that kind of ends up being a bigger deal than you'd think for that. But that's one of the negatives. I think obviously unproven and having the price be kind of high. $35 for the lowest tier seems a little high for me for something that's unproven and we don't know what the value will be. Just especially if you're trying to sell quickly and you want to do auctions, it just seems a little risky, where it seemed like it'd be pretty easy to lose money on some of these. And then like the Prism label is a little gimmicky to me, and I'm not a huge fan of that, but you know, maybe some people will be into that. And that's it for the negatives. For positives, I really do like the slabs. I think they look cool. It's something different. And with all these different grading companies, it's like, well, what makes you different than everyone else? And this is pretty clear. You know, you got a slab that looks good, has nice color. And if I had a backlight, maybe I could kind of turn it. It looks even better. And if you get good lighting on this and put it on eBay, like this will pop. This stands out more than any other slab does, I believe. They do have AI grading, which I talked about, and I like that they're somewhat reasonable with it. It's not like everything's like has to be perfect or else they don't get a 9.5 or higher. I like that seems to be balanced. And then they did post on Instagram and probably on their website too, what their grading standards are. And so I like that visibility and like that you can like kind of look at what they grade by. They talk about like their margins for grading, centering, edges and corners and stuff like that. And then another big one too is print lines, which I always wonder about. PSA seems to be way inconsistent on print lines, but they talk about that too. And so yeah, just I think overall it's a great card to display. Not sure about long-term value. Again, there's a lot of grading card companies out there, and turn times vary depending on the companies. PSA is still shut down. Beckett just announced that they're shutting down, and so there's companies like SGC and there's CSG and there's a new one, Pure Graded X, which I'm not a huge fan of them. Just their label and their kind of, I don't know, they seem to be kind of just trying to be viral and try to get people's attention versus focusing on quality and stuff like that. And yeah, and so then hybrid grading approach, HGA, I've liked a lot of what they do, and I like how open and honest they are about things, but they have some huge QC issues. And then also kind of their resaleability is kind of in question right now too. But we'll see. So what do you guys think here? These are pretty cool. I'm not sure about value, but I definitely like the way they look. Like to give them a chance here. Might send some more in too. I will let you know how it goes with getting this one updated, and then I'll double check all the other ones too. I'm not sure if there's any other issues with any other cars, but name being incorrect is a big mistake there, but can be fixed. So what do you think? Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below on what you think. Thanks.